Hi everyone, this is Ramakrishna. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss episode 2020 linear algebra questions. That is question number 11 to question number 20. Okay, here we have question number 11. These are all from linear algebra and inner product space. And here question number 11 is from linear algebra. And the question is, a subspace of the vector space R power n over the field R among the following is, and four options are: option number A, set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 greater than or equal to 0. That is first option. Option number B, set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a2 is equal to a1 square. Option number C, set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 plus 3a2 is equal to a3. And option number D, set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 is rational. So we have to choose one correct option from these four. And here the question is about, among these four, which one is the vector subspace of R power n. Okay. And in vector spaces, we have one necessary and sufficient condition theorem. So first, we have to recall that theorem. We will use that theorem to solve this problem. Okay. So here we have a statement. Theorem is, a non-empty subset W of V is subspace of V. Means here W is a subspace of a vector space V if and only if for each pair of vectors, alpha comma beta in W and each scalar C in F, the vector C alpha plus beta is again in W. This is a necessary and sufficient condition for W to be a subspace of a vector space V. So here this condition is satisfied, then we say that W is a vector subspace of vector space V. So for each pair of vectors, alpha comma beta belongs to W and each scalar C belongs to capital F, C alpha plus beta is again belongs to W. Then we say that W is a vector subspace. So we will use this statement to solve this problem. Okay. So here we will check options wise. Option number A, given that a set of all ordered n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 greater than or equal to 0, means first coordinate a1 value is greater than or equal to 0, and clearly it is not a subspace because for n tuple taking all the components as 1, means first component, second component, so on, and component as 1. The additive inverse is -1, and so on, -1, which does not satisfy the given condition because subspace means it satisfies condition. But here we have a1 as -1, which is not greater than or equal to 0. So it does not satisfy the subspace condition. So option number A is wrong. Okay. Now we will see option number B. Option number B is, set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a2 is equal to a1 square, means second coordinate a2 is equal to first coordinate square, means a1 square. So this is not a vector subspace because if we take ordered pair 1 comma 1 satisfying the condition, since 1 square is equal to 1, ordered pair satisfies this condition, 1 square is equal to 1. That means a1 square, sorry, a1 a2 square, a1 square is equal to a2. This is true for ordered pairs. But coming to the n tuple 1 comma 1 comma 1 and so on 1, plus again we are taking n tuple 1 comma 1 comma 1, which gives us n tuple 2 comma 2 comma 2 and so on 2. But the n tuple 2 comma 2 comma 2 and so on does not satisfy the condition because 2 square is not equal to 2. Okay, so option number B is also wrong. Is it clear? Here vector subspace means it is also a vector space, means it satisfies abelian group properties. Okay, by using closure property, we have the n tuple 1 comma 1 comma 1 belongs to R power n, as well as by using closure property, we have the n tuples sum. That means 1 comma 1 comma 1 and so on 1 plus again n tuple 1 comma 1 comma 1 and so on 1. Their sum is again belonging to W, then we say that that satisfies closure property. But here, the sum of these n tuples is equal to n tuple given by 2 comma 2 comma 2 and so on 2. But this n tuple, which consisting each coordinate as 2, does not satisfy the given condition, because your given condition is a2 is equal to a1 square. But in this n tuple, we have each component as 2. Okay, but 2 square is not equal to 2, so it does not satisfy the given condition. So option number B is wrong. Now coming to the option number C, your option number C is set of all n tuples which satisfies the condition a1 plus 3a2 is equal to a3. If this condition is satisfied, then we have that space is a subspace. Okay, so suppose we take two n tuples a1 comma a2 comma and so on an, b1 comma b2 comma and so on bn, satisfy the condition, and let C belongs to R. Here C is a scalar. By known theorem, that is we discussed previously, we have to show that C into n tuple a1 a2 and so on an plus b1 b2 so on bn is equal to ca1 plus b1 plus so on and so on can plus bn. And the condition is, here the given condition is a1 plus 3a2 is equal to a3. If this condition is satisfied, then it becomes a subspace. Okay, so this is by using the theorem. If this condition means your C is a scalar and alpha is nothing but n tuple a1 a2 so on an, and beta is nothing but n tuple b1 b2 so on bn. By using the theorem, we have to prove that C alpha plus beta is again belongs to the given set, which has to be subspace. Okay, so here this property which satisfies the given condition, and the given condition is a1 plus 3a2 is equal to a3. So we have to verify this condition. Okay, now ca1 plus b1 plus 3 into ca2 plus b2. Now we are considering this value. On simplification, we get here C is a scalar, so this first one can be written as C into a1 plus 3 into a2. Taking C as common from this 2, we get C into a1 plus 3a2 plus b1 plus 3b2. So it is of the form C into, this is a3 value, because a1 plus 3a2, a1 plus 3a2 is nothing but a3. And similarly, we have b1 plus 3b2, b1 plus 3b2 is nothing but b3. So this value is equal to ca3 plus b3. Thus it does satisfies the given condition. It is a subspace, so our option number C is correct. Okay, similarly we can verify option number D. So coming to option number D, given that the n tuple a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 is rational. Okay, so here we have the n tuple 1 comma 1 comma 1 and so on 1 satisfying the condition, but here we have pi is an irrational, so pi of 1 into 1 into 1 and so on 1, it is given as n tuple pi comma pi comma pi, which does not satisfies the given condition, so it is not a rational number. So option number D is also wrong. So the only correct option is option number C, that is the set of all n tuples a1 a2 so on an belongs to R power n such that a1 plus 3a2 is equal to a3. So this is a subspace of the vector space R power n. Okay, is it clear? This is solution of question number 11. So next we'll move to next question number 12. So here question number 12 is a linear transformation t from r power 4 to r square is defined by t of a1 comma a2 comma a3 comma a4 is equal to a1 plus a3 plus a4 comma a2. Then the dimension of kernel t is equal to, and the four options are option number a 1, option number b 2, option number c 3, option number d 4. So here also we have to choose one correct options from these four. And here the question is about to find the dimension of kernel T. Dimension of kernel T means we have to find the basis for n of T. The number of elements in n of T is known as the dimension of kernel T. Nullity of T. Kernel T is nothing but nullity of T. So by using definition of kernel, and here the given transformation is T is a mapping from r power 4 to r square. That is a linear transformation which is defined to be T of a1 comma a2 comma a3 comma a4 is equal to ordered pair a1 plus a3 plus a4 comma a2. So by using definition of kernel, we have kernel T is equal to set of all four tuples a1, a2, a3, a4 belongs to R power 4 such that T of a1, comma a2, comma a3, comma a4 is equal to 0 element in R square, nothing but ordered pair 0, comma 0. So this is the definition of kernel. Okay, kernel means set of all those vectors which maps to 0 element in codomain. Okay, so T of a1, comma a2, comma a3, comma a4 is equal to 0 element in R square. So 0 element in R square is nothing but ordered pair 0, comma 0. That is the 0 element. Okay. So that is equal to set of all a1, comma a2, comma a3, comma a4 belongs to R power 4 such that, and here T is defined to be ordered pair a1 plus a3 plus a4, comma a2 is equal to 0 element. So that is equal to set of all a1, a2, a3, a4 belongs to R power 4 such that here equating the coordinate wise, we have first coordinate as a1 plus a3 plus a4 is equal to 0 and second coordinate a2 is equal to 0. That is equal to set of all a1 comma a2 comma a3 comma a4 belongs to R power 4 such that here we are taking a3 is equal to x, a4 is equal to y. By taking a3 is equal to x and a4 is equal to y, means we are solving these equations for a1, a2, a3 and a4. We are solving this two equations. So here we are letting a3 is equal to x and a4 is equal to y. From this we get a1 value. a1 is equal to minus x minus y. Already we have a2 is equal to 0. Now substituting these values in these coordinates, we get set of all a1 means minus x comma minus y, and a2 is equal to 0, a3 is equal to x and a4 is equal to y, such that x comma y belongs to R, means real numbers. Okay, now taking x and y as common from these coordinates, we get this is equal to set of all x into minus 1 comma 0 comma 1 comma 0 plus y into minus 1 comma 0 comma 0 comma 1. Means here the basis for n of t, means nullity of t, is equal to two vectors, namely minus 1 comma 0 comma 1 comma 0 and minus 1 comma 0 comma 0 comma 1. Means it is a basis for n of t and it is set consisting only two vectors. So the dimension of n of t is equal to 2, means the dimension of kernel t is equal to 2. Therefore our option number 2 is correct. Is it clear? Okay. So we'll move to next question, question number 30. This is also from linear algebra matrices question. Question is, if capital A is a 3 by 3 non-singular matrix over the field and the determinant of the matrix 5A inverse is 25, then the value of modulus of adjoint of 3A is dash, means determinant of adjoint of 3A, not modulus. Here we are read it as a determinant of adjoint of 3A. So given that capital A is a 3 by 3 non-singular matrix over the field of real numbers and the determinant of the matrix 5A inverse is 25, then the value of determinant of adjoint of 3a is dash, and the four options are: option number 1, 3 cube by 5 cube; option number 2, 3 cube into 5 cube; option number 3, 3 cube by 5 square; option number 4, 3 power 6 into 5 square. Here also we have to choose one correct options from this 4. And here these are all from paper 2 questions, so only one option is correct. So here we have to recall some properties of determinant. So we have determinant of adjoint A. Whenever A is a n by n matrix, we have determinant of adjoint A is given by determinant of A whole power n minus 1. This is a useful result. And similarly, we have determinant of Ka, where K is a scalar and A is an n by n matrix. In this case, we have determinant of Ka can be written as K power n into determinant of A. So we will use these two results to solve this problem. And here given that the determinant of the matrix 5A inverse is 25. That is, determinant of 5A inverse is equal to 25. So here this determinant can be written as by using this property, determinant of Ka, because K is a scalar. In place of K we have 5, and here given that capital A is a 3 by 3 matrix, so n is equal to 3. So determinant of Ka means we have K power n into determinant of A. So in place of A we have A inverse. So determinant of 5A inverse is equal to 25. That means it can be written as K power n into determinant of A, means 5 power 3 into determinant of A inverse. Determinant of A inverse is nothing but 1 by det A, because A inverse is nothing but 1 by det A, which is equal to 25. It can be written as 5 square. So here 5 square will get cancelled. From this we get determinant of A is equal to 5. Det A is equal to 5. Now coming to determinant of adjoint of 3A, we have to find that value, determinant of adjoint of 3A. Again, by using this result, adjoint of A can be written as determinant of A whole power n minus 1, where A is an n by n matrix, and here given that n is a 3 by 3 matrix, so n is equal to 3. So by using this result, determinant of adjoint of 3A is equal to determinant of 3A whole power 3 minus 1. That means determinant of 3A square. And by using this second result, it can be written as 3 cube into det A whole square. 3 cube whole power 2 means 3 power 6 into det A square. And we know that det A is equal to 5. So it is equal to 3 power 6 into 5 square. Therefore, our option number 4 is correct. That means determinant of adjoint of 3A is equal to 3 power 6 into 5 square. Is it clear? Okay, so we will move to next question. Question number 14. This is also from Maths linear equations. Question is the number of solutions of the system of linear equations given below is, equations are x minus 2y plus z plus 2t, 2t is equal to 1. That is first equation. And second equation is x plus y minus z plus t is equal to 2. And third equation, x plus 7y minus 5z minus t is equal to 3. And the four options are option number A 0, option number B 1, option number C 2, option number D 3. So here also we have to choose one correct options from this 4. And here the question is about to find the number of solutions of this non-homogeneous linear equations. So we have standard theorems to solve this problem. First we have to recall the theorem, and the theorem statement is that Ax is equal to B with a system of m non-homogeneous equations in n unknowns. Here m represents the number of non-homogeneous equations in n unknowns. The system Ax is equal to B has no solutions. First bit is no solutions if rank of A is strictly less than rank of augmented AB. That means the system is inconsistent. Whenever the system is inconsistent, it has no solutions. Okay, it has no solutions. And option second one, a unique solution if rank of A is equal to rank of augmented AB, that is equal to both ranks are equal, say n. And it has infinite number of solutions if rank of A is equal to rank of augmented AB, which is strictly less than n. Here n is the number of unknowns. Okay, and here first we have to write these system of equations in matrix form as Ax is equal to B. So first we have to write the augmented matrix AB, and here the coefficients of x, y, z, and t, take it as rows. We have augmented AB as 1 minus 2 1 2 1 1 1 minus 1 1 2 1 7 minus 5 minus 1 3. This is augmented AB. We are writing the coefficients of this system of equations in a matrix form. This is called augmented AB. Now we will convert this into echelon form. That means we use row operations to find the rank of this augmented AB. So first we use R2 minus R1 and R3 minus R1. By using row operations, we get first row as 1 minus 2 1 2 1, and here we are doing R2 minus R1. By using R2 minus R1, this row becomes 0 3 minus 2 minus 1 1. And similarly R3 minus R1 means R3 row becomes 0 9, because 7 minus 2, that is minus of minus plus 9. So minus 5 minus 1 minus 6, and minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 3 minus 1 means 2. This is second operation. And again we have to do 3R2 minus R3. By using this operation, this will be operated on R2. So here by doing this operation R2, the complete row becomes 0. So therefore by neglecting this last column, we will get the rank of the matrix capital A. That is nothing but rank of A is equal to 2 and rank of augmented AB is equal to 3, because number of non-zero rows are 3. So augmented rank of augmented AB is equal to 3. That means here we have rank of A is strictly less than rank of augmented AB. That means the system is inconsistent. So it has no solutions, means it has a zero solution. So option number A is correct. That means zero solutions. This is solution of question number 14. Is it clear? Next, we have question number 15. Question is, if alpha, beta, gamma are the characteristic roots of the matrix 3 by 3 matrix 3 0 1 2 1 4 minus 1 0 2 over the field C of complex numbers, then modulus of alpha plus modulus of beta plus modulus of gamma is equal to dash. And the four options are option number A 36, option number B 1 plus root over 34, option number C 6, option number D 1 plus 2 into root 7. So we have to find one correct options from these four. So here first we have to find the characteristic equation of this matrix, and it is given by determinant of A minus xi is equal to 0. This is simple calculation. By finding the determinant, we get a cubic equation as x cube minus 6x square plus 12x minus 7 is equal to 0. By finding the factors by using synthetic division, we get factors as x minus 1 into x square minus 5x plus 7 is equal to 0. From this we get x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 5 plus or minus square root over 25 minus 28 by 2. By using minus b plus or minus square root over b square minus 4ac by 2a formula. So here we have x is equal to 5 plus or minus square root over 3i by 2. So we have three roots. Alpha is equal to 1, beta is equal to 5 plus root 3i by 2, and gamma is equal to 5 minus root 3i by 2. So we have to find the value of modulus of alpha plus modulus of beta plus modulus of gamma. So by substituting these values, we get modulus of alpha means 1, modulus of beta means by taking square root over this value, that is nothing but 1 by 2 is a constant. So we have square root over 25 plus 3 plus 1 by 2 into square root over 25 plus 3. On simplification, we get this value is equal to 1 plus 2 root 7. That means option number D is correct. Okay, is it clear? This is question number 15. And moving to question number 16. Here the question is, if capital A is the matrix 4 by 3 by 3 matrix minus 4 3 6 3 minus 2 9 0 0 7, and if a square minus a plus 7a inverse is equal to ki, then k is equal to, we have to find the k value, and the four options are option number A 43, option number B minus 43, option number C 37, option number D minus 37. So we have to find one correct options from these four. Here this is an application of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay, so first we have to find the characteristic equation of this 3 by 3 matrix, and it is given by determinant of A minus xi is equal to 0. So we use determinant. So simple calculation. This is on simplification we get the characteristic equation as x cube minus x square minus 43x plus 7 is equal to 0. So by using Cayley-Hamilton theorem, every square matrix satisfies its characteristic equation. So this is characteristic equation of given 3 by 3 square matrix. So it should satisfy its characteristic equation. So means your A satisfies this equation. So substituting x is equal to A, we have a cube minus a square minus 43a plus 7i is equal to 0. Taking multiplying with a inverse on both sides, we get a inverse of a cube minus a square minus 43a plus 7i is equal to 0. On simplification, we get this is equal to a square minus a minus 43i plus 7a inverse is equal to 0. That is a square minus a plus 7a inverse is equal to 43i. So it is of the form ki. So here k is equal to 43. Therefore, our option number A is correct. Is it clear? Now moving to question number 17. This is also from linear algebra, vector spaces. Let b1 is equal to ordered basis 1 comma 2 and 3 comma minus 1, and b2 is equal to another basis 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 with the basis of a vector space r square and r cube respectively over the field R. Define a linear transformation T from R square to R cube by T of x comma y is equal to x plus y comma x minus y comma y for all x comma y belongs to R square. Then the matrix of T relative to the basis B1 and B2 is dash. So here four options are given. We have to choose one correct options from these four. So here coming to the solution, like T is a mapping from R square to R cube, and it is a linear transformation which is defined by T of x comma y is equal to x plus y comma x minus y comma y for all x comma y belongs to R square. So here we have to find the matrix representation of T relative to the basis B1 and B2. For that, here codomain is R cube. So first we have to take an element in R cube, say a comma b comma c belongs to R cube, and let this a comma b comma c can be written in linear combination of this basis element b2. So namely it can be written as p into 1 comma 0 comma 0 plus q into 1 comma 1 comma 0 plus r into 1 comma 1 comma 1. Now solving this, we get three equations as p plus q plus r is equal to a, q plus r is equal to b, and r equal to c. On simplification, we get p is equal to a minus, from this we get r is equal to c, and q is equal to, q value is equal to b minus c. Okay, this is c minus b minus c, q is equal to b minus c. So substituting these values, we get p is equal to a minus b. Substituting p is equal to a minus q minus r. By substituting q value, r value, we get p is equal to a minus of b minus c minus c, which is nothing but a minus b. Therefore, a minus a comma b comma c can be written as p into, means a minus b into 1 comma 0 comma 0 plus q into, means b minus c into 1 comma 1 comma 0 plus r into, means c into 1 comma 1 comma 1. Okay. Now the given transformation is T of x comma y is equal to x plus y comma x minus y comma y. So first we have to take the ordered basis as 1 comma 2. So x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. P of 1 comma 2 is equal to, Substituting these values, we get as 3 comma minus 1 comma 2, because x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. We have first coordinate as x plus y means 3, second coordinate as minus 1, and third coordinate as 2, and it can be written as 4 into, because a minus b means here a b c are 3 minus 1 2. So a minus b, 3 minus of minus 1 means 4. 4 into 1 comma 0 comma 0 minus 3 into 1 comma 1 comma 0 plus 2 into 1 comma 1 comma 1. And similarly, the value of t of 3 comma minus 1 is given by 2 comma 4 comma minus 1, which is equal to minus 2 into 1 comma 0 plus into 1 comma 1 comma 0 minus 1 into 1 comma 1 comma 1. So this is the matrix representation of linear transformation with respect to basis b1 comma b2, which is given by taking these coefficients in column wise. We get 4 minus 2 minus 3 5 and 2 minus 1. So this is the required option. So option number D is correct. Is it clear? Next we have question number 18. This is from inner product space. Let F be a standard IPS means inner product space on the vector space C square over the field of complex numbers. If alpha is equal to 4 plus 5i, beta is equal to 3 plus 7i, and gamma is equal to 2 minus 3i, then f of alpha beta into alpha gamma is equal to, means f of inner product alpha beta and alpha gamma is equal to dash. So we have to choose again 4 options from this 4. Correct options from this 4. So this is a usual simplification. So consider f of, here alpha means 4 plus 5i, beta is equal to 3 plus 7i, gamma is equal to 2 minus 3i. So consider f of alpha beta, alpha gamma. The value is nothing but f of 4 plus 5i comma 3 plus 7i, 4 plus 7i comma, 4 plus 5i comma 2 minus 3i. So by using in product, we get this is 4 plus 5i into 4 minus 5i plus 3 plus 7i into 2 plus 3i. Okay. So by using usual multiplication of complex numbers, we get this value is equal to 26 plus 23i. So option number A is correct. This is from definition of inner product space in complex plane CM. Okay. So next we have another question from inner product space, question number 19. Let F be a standard inner product space on the vector space R square over the field R of real numbers. If alpha is equal to 7 comma minus 4, beta is equal to 2 comma 3, then norm alpha plus beta square minus norm alpha minus beta square is equal to dash. So we have to choose 4 options. You have given 4 options. We have to choose 1 correct options from this 4. So here we have simple method. First we have to find alpha plus beta. Alpha is equal to 7 comma minus 4, beta is equal to 2 comma 3. So alpha plus beta is given by 9 minus 1. So norm alpha plus beta whole square is nothing but 9 square means this is 81 plus 1. Squaring this to norm alpha plus beta whole square means this is the 81 plus 1, which is equal to 82. That means norm alpha plus beta whole square is given by 82. And similarly, alpha minus beta is equal to, alpha is equal to 7 minus 4 and beta is equal to 2 comma 3. So this value is equal to 5 comma minus 7. So therefore, norm alpha minus beta whole square is given by nothing but inner product alpha minus beta into alpha minus beta. So which is equal to alpha square plus beta square, which is equal to 25 plus 49, which is equal to 74. Now subtracting these values, we get norm alpha plus beta whole square minus norm alpha minus beta whole square, which is equal to 82 minus 74, which is given by 8. So option number B is correct. Okay. So this is question number 19. It can be solved in usual manner. That is, we take norm alpha plus beta whole square minus norm alpha minus beta whole square. It can be explicitly written as norm alpha square plus inner product alpha comma beta plus inner product beta comma alpha plus norm beta square minus norm alpha square plus by expanding this a plus b whole square, and this can be expanded in a minus b whole square. On simplification, we get this is as 2 into inner product alpha comma beta plus inner product beta comma alpha. Now substituting the values of inner product alpha beta, we get the value of norm alpha plus beta whole square minus norm alpha minus beta whole square. Okay, that is question number 19. Now coming to the last question, question number 20. This is from quadratic forms. Let f be a symmetric bilinear form defined on R square over the field R of real numbers, and the quadratic form associated with AF is given by Q of x comma y is equal to x square plus xy plus y square for all x comma y belongs to R square. Then modulus of f of 3 comma 8 comma minus 5 comma minus 4 is equal to dash. So we have to find this modulus value. So given four options are option number A 73, option number B 39, option number C 158, option number D 36. And here the question is about to find the value of this modulus value, and the question is the quadratic form associated with symmetric bilinear form. So we have a standard formula. So we have whenever a symmetric bilinear form is given, then the quadratic form associated with that symmetric bilinear form is given by f of u comma v is equal to 1 by 2 times q of u plus v minus q of u minus q of v. This is standard formula. And here given that q of u comma v is, q of x comma y is equal to x square plus xy plus y square, and that is true for all x comma y belongs to R square. And here u is equal to first pair 3 comma 8 and v is equal to second pair minus 5 comma minus 4. Now substituting these values in equation 1, we get f of pair 3 comma 8 comma minus 5 comma minus 4, which is equal to 1 by 2 times q of u means 3 comma 8 plus v means minus 5 comma minus 4 minus q of 3 comma 8 minus q of v means minus 5 comma minus 4. Now substituting these values in q of x comma y is equal to x square plus xy plus y square, we get 1 by 2 into q of, substituting x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 8, we get the value as q of minus 2 comma 4, and second value as q of 3 comma 8 and q of minus 5 comma minus 4. So substituting these values, we get 1 by 2 into x square means minus 2 square 4, xy means minus 2 into 4 means minus 8, plus y square means 4 square 16, minus q of 3 comma 8. So substituting x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 8, we get 9 plus 24 plus 64 minus q of x is equal to minus 5, y is equal to minus 4. So we have 25 plus 20 plus 16. On simplification, we get this value as 1 by 2 times minus 146, which is equal to minus 73. But in the question, it is asked that modulus of f of 3 comma 8 comma minus 5 comma minus 4. So modulus of minus 73 is nothing but plus 73. Therefore, our option number A is correct. I hope you like this video. These are all questions from AP Set 2020 linear algebra, questions from question number 11 to question number 20. I hope you like this video. If you like the video, please share, subscribe.